Hello, my loyal companions. Welcome back to RogueCast, your dedicated Rogue Company podcast, hosted by me, Radthar, and joined, as always, by OctaneProTV. How are we this week?
We are phenomenal. We have season two. I've been eager to talk about it, and let's not waste too much time.
No, let's do it. As I said to you just before I said, I'm happy to finally get my thoughts out to the
Mhm.
world in a nice, dedicated format, such as RogueCast. So I can stop being asked what I think of Time to Kill and season two and the launch and stuff. So it's going to be good. Nice little, just kind of final note, but a final word for both of us to sort of talk about these changes and things. Because personally, I'm
Yeah.
just going to give an olive branch statement, and I think it's been a successful launch for Rogue Company. But I want your 2 cents first. I want you to go into it because everyone loves your more experienced opinion is what I'll call
I,
it.
I don't, I don't, I don't, I don't know if it was funny. So on that note, we'll stop there first because you say more experience because it's funny. You and I are two different sides of the coin,
100%.
and I want to make sure our audio audience and our video audience understand that. Like, Radthar plays Rogue Company every day, all day long. Like, this is his job,
Mhm,
pretty much. Like, this is how he creates income. This is how he pays whatever bills he might have, and so like he lives and breathes it.
mhm,
And then I'm on the flip side, like I have even stepped away from streaming it. Every because I used to play every day almost, 5 days a week or so. Now I'm only streaming it like once or twice a week max. So I'm definitely coming more from the casual side of
mhm,
things, and also coming more from which I think connects with more your traditional player base.
mhm.
Your traditional player base isn't I play this game 10 hours a day. Like,
No.
as much as we think, you are actually the minority. That being said, from a very high level, first off, I thought it went really well.
Mhm.
The patch applied nicely. We didn't have any major hiccups. I haven't come across any game stopping bugs that are like you got to take down
Yeah.
servers type of deal. So that's a win from the community side of things. Uh, yes. So at high level, that's where I am
Yeah.
at without
Okay.
getting super
Wait.
detailed.
So
What about you from a high
are
level?
we saying that we both think that it's a successful season two for Rogue
Yes.
Company? Is this what we're saying? That they did it?
Um,
Um.
I don't know about. I don't.
Um.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't
okay.
know.
So here's my 2 cents. I think it went very
Okay.
very well. I think overall the
Okay.
changes were good. They were well thought out. And I said actually in a
Yeah.
recent
Okay.
video talking about a similar sort of topic. None of it felt like a money grab. Absolutely none of this felt like a arms dealer season
Yeah.
one. Hey, we're doing this because we want to promote this or this. It literally just felt like they were like, hey, we got this content, we got these ideas that we're excited about for the game, and here they are. So that comes in with Mac, the new map, the ban phase,
Mhm.
the time to kill changes, and the battle pass, which obviously is a monetary system for them, which went really really well. It's really good. Like and we've spoken about it quite a fair amount of times, two or
Mhm.
three episodes. We've spoken about this battle pass and how they put a lot of good effort into the cosmetics of it. But so that's my general level. I think there are a few minor issues. I think some of the weapons for the time to kill have a little bit iffy, but overall, I think everything went really well. The direction of the game looks really good. And as I just yesterday casted the antimatter tournament, which was the first season two major tournament, the one that kind of had a four-figure payout at it for $1,000.
Did they
And
have any bans in there regarding like you can't play this character, you can't use this or anything like that?
no, so
Good.
we un-GA'd Fixer because CMG also un-GA'd Fixer, but the custom lobbies now have the ranked ban phase implemented in them anyway. So teams
Oh,
got
nice.
to ban themselves. They got to choose what they wanted to remove. So
Good.
there was no restrictions on the side of the tournament, but within game they're obviously now the ban. So that was an interesting dynamic. And watching the new time to kill, especially in the highest
Mhm.
level of competitive play, looks really good. It looks really clean. I've seen some comp players, CMG's been going on today, say that it's one of the best changes going on currently, which is it is great. I'm super glad that the comp scene is behind the time to kill changes. Again, everyone kind of
Mhm.
agrees there are a few issues, but we'll talk about the time to kill as we go on. Let's first just break this down a little bit into different sections. Let's talk about just your experience with ranked. I think ranked is the first one. I know you were a little bit eager
Sure.
to talk about it, so
Well, it's funny. It's funny you get into that because I
mhm,
made a note here too.
very good.
So I'll be honest.
Okay,
I have not played any ranked yet.
okay,
And the reasoning behind that is just fundamentally there's
mhm,
no reason to.
yes,
Outside of the ban phases, uh, how do I put this lightly? Rank sucks.
yeah. I mean,
Like,
yeah.
we're thankful, but we're in season two now.
Mhm,
So we had season zero and now one last season, now two, and it is, I want to give praise on a lot of season 2 has been thought out, and
Mhm.
some adjustments have been made, and I have notes here of rate of play and meta and time to
Yeah,
kill and all positive things. But dude, ranked is the ugly duckling.
mhm.
And I was actually talking to somebody the other day and said they should just take ranked out.
Really?
I'm like, it is not what it should be. We can
Mhm.
all agree. Matchmaking is not what it should be. We can all agree. The rewards are pathetic. Like,
Oh my
you
god.
reward people
Oh,
grind to rogue and you give them pathetic skull little like avatar things.
yeah.
It's like our community
It was
knows
not it.
like our community knows I don't sugarcoat things. So when you're like, let's talk about ranked first, I'm like, oh well, all right, let's
We're
talk
going
about
in
ranked
this
first.
way.
We'll get it out of the way first, guys. So it's like,
Uh-huh.
in all honesty, it's like I love ranked play. Like I loved ranked in
Mhm.
CS:GO. I have played many other games where I love ranked because I
Mhm.
like that grind to a certain level. I love being able to say, "Hey, I'm Rogue or I'm Diamond or I'm Masters,
Yeah.
whatever." I started out in the competitive scene in StarCraft 2, and grinded that like crazy, and went to an MLG event even in that regard. So, I am no stranger to ranked. This is not ranked.
Yeah.
This is and so what frustrates me is like season 2 overall, it's like, okay, good icing on the cake. We
Yeah.
dotted our I's, we crossed our T's, everything went well. And then it's like, but no one's really speaking out to say, what is that?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Mhm.
Like everything that you and I have been talking about for weeks about how ranked could be improved. Not one thing
No.
is in that. And it's like they just, well, we don't have time. We got to work on our battle pass. And it's just like, oh. So,
Well,
anyways, that's my ranked perspective. And I'm really eager to hear, though, not just your perspective, but also I want to hear your thoughts on ban because I was
yeah.
really interested in like the ban phases.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to completely agree with you on everything you said. Ranked is that ugly duckling. Ranked is not worth the grind. The reason I play ranked is, well, it's, I guess, twofold. One, there's the content
Content.
behind it. It's content behind it, right? Ranked is where the
Yep.
content's at. People want to see ranked
Yep.
gameplays. And then kind of feeding into that as well, you do get a general sense of better competition in ranked. Like,
Mhm.
it is better than pub demo. Pub demo is a bigger joke than ranked demo, trust
Mhm.
me. Honestly, I think in terms of like sweatiness, in terms of game modes, it goes strikeout, ranked
Mhm.
demo, then normal demo, and then you have extraction just way down. I'm we're not gonna bash on extraction too much
What's extraction?
this
What's extraction?
episode. We're gonna leave extraction alone this episode. We won't
Okay.
bash
All
on it
right.
too
All right.
much, okay? Because I get a lot of comments about
I
extraction.
saw that. I saw
Yeah,
a
it's
lot.
like I've
I
got
play extraction every day. It's like, really? Do you have a? Is it a long time to
it's
queue? Nope.
oh, it's a thing. But yeah, so ranked is
Okay.
a better competition in terms of the player base. And actually, since ranked launch, it's actually been really fun. Running as a 4 stack, I tend to go against other 4 stacks, and it is kind of nice. Solo queue, painful as hell. It sucks. But it sucks in the fun way for a viewer to watch, where it's like we feel the frustration together. So I enjoy it from that
Mhm.
perspective. But if I was a casual player like yourself and like how you represent our community in that aspect,
Mhm.
I wouldn't play ranked. There would be no point.
Mhm.
And you're either getting awful teammates and going against cracked squads, or you're just having really tough games here and there, and it just
Yep.
isn't like worth it, right? And so I wouldn't play ranked if I was a casual player. Honestly, it's not worth it. I play Striker, I play King of the Hill, I play some of these other game modes that are a little bit more casual and fun, and you can just hang out with your friends. So I completely
Mhm.
agree with you on that one. In terms of rank this season, though, the only change, as you said, was the bans being implemented. And I really like this. I watched it in tournament play yesterday, in competitive play, and I obviously played a bunch of rank myself. And talking with your team, or even just personally making a choice about which rogue to ban, is a really,
Mhm.
really, really good strategic thing. Of, hey, we're on factory. We don't really want to play trench on defense, and it's really annoying to deal with. So why don't we ban it, and then we can try something else? Or
Who's
we
the person that gets a pick? How do that
highest
how
ranking,
is it
highest ranking
highest
appears to get
ranking?
it. Is what I've noticed.
So it's highest ranking.
But
Okay, so
potentially party leader. Potentially it's
so you're
party leader.
seeing you're seeing the rank. So if you queued solo, you would see the rank of all the other players on your team.
Yes and no. So
What is that?
so
What is that answer?
so they have added to the player card or whatever your rank. So you can actually in game have a look at what rank the enemies are
Okay.
and
Mhm.
what's going on. However, if I were to say what would be the one issue that has occurred because of that, what would you say? What is stopping that being a feature? Just given your knowledge of high res, what went wrong with that?
So it was in the game, but now it's not.
No, it is in a game. It is in the game. There's just what's wrong with it?
Some, something I don't know. Like if there's something wrong with it, it means that like it shows up in the beginning and then it's gone or something like that.
It just shows the same rank for everybody. It's just bugged. It's like it's like I click on a name and it's like
Wait,
it's like Diamond 5. I'm like, cool. I look at the next name, Diamond 5. I look at my own name and I'm Diamond 5. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, so I thought you'd appreciate the humor of they've got this system. They're adding in. We can see our teammates' ranks and our enemy players' ranks and get an idea of the matchmaking. But it's all bugged. It's like, come on.
That means that they did not test that at all. At all. Like, come on. Like, that's pathetic.
It works in lobby. So it works so you can see it like in your friends list. You can see everybody's ranking in your friends list and it's accurate. But then you get in game and it's like, nope. This don't show the right thing. So I imagine that's a very small little change. But I thought. But
how did they not hotfix that the next day? Like that's embarrassing. Like come on, guys.
I thought you'd enjoy that snippet of information.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Okay,
but that's my thoughts on ranked and the ban phase. I think it's good. I think it's really good for the scene. I just think ranked is I said that the ugly duckling that no one really wants to talk about because I think that we've all got to the point of acceptance. Ranked is kind of what it is. Ranked is just the
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I was like, yes, you said it shows the rank in there. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, happy to hear that. Like, that should work out well. And then I was like, wait a sec. So if it shows the rank, that means that, there's some value and strategy to that. You can see who's your top, person.
Yeah.
You could also see like, oh, we have a silver team playing against a rogue team.
Yeah.
Take that screenshot, blast that all over Reddit. Like, good examples of the fact of how. But the fact that it doesn't even work right.
Everyone's the same ranked across the board. Both teams, everyone's the same rank. It's like, okay, great. Thank you, game.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that handles rank there. So I'll jump in the next item, which I think will be good. So, and I'm very interested in your thoughts on this, and I think it's good, is so we've had a significant meta shift with the game and that's a few things. First, it's a faster rate of play now because of the time to kill. In addition to that, melee is very lackluster. It's not what it used to be. Everybody used to run around with their melee weapon out, and it's, there's definitely still value there, but it's not what it used to be. And then on top of that, the grenade meta has definitely dropped. Off. So what did it throw to you? You played the game more than anybody I know. Thoughts on the current new meta? How does it fit the game? Is it more enjoyable? Kind of what are you seeing?
It's a gun fest. You're 100% right. Meta weapons are gone. Grenades are not so gone, but they are less impactful on those with tenacity because tenacity now it actually works. It just stopped working. That's what I'm going to call it. When they reduced it to 30%, they just made it not a thing that was ever worth buying. So it now is like viable. Tenacity is viable, and rogues with tenacity have a lot more weight to them because you are immune to that C4, that grenade. You survive Kestrel ult longer. It's a really nice thing. And in terms of meta, it's just become gun focused. Of if you can stay out as a rogue, it kind of works. Like there's no, I mean, there kind of is a defined meta, but there also isn't. There's a lot more room for experimentation at the moment, and some other picks that we haven't traditionally seen. Obviously, Mac is coming in with probably one of the most broken weapons right now, so he's getting a lot of attention. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know what you're talking about. That's getting a little bit of a hot fix pretty soon. I'm hoping the MXR, Sahara, and Conviction, I believe, are all getting nerfs coming up very soon. So no issue. Well, hopefully there'll be less issue with them. But we're seeing things like Kestrel, obviously, who's heavy meta, but bringing the Knight involved as a weapon of choice is really big. Sigrid is heavy meta, like permanently banned in the competitive scene kind of meta. Fixer's kind of back in the rotation. There's a lot more that we haven't traditionally seen. We've seen glitches come in now with all the glitch changes that happened. Like, there's a lot of things that are being experimented with right now, and the meta is actually really interesting. The tournament yesterday, which, as I said, this is the highest level of gameplay, right? It went. I saw how people changed what they were trying to do throughout the tournament, throughout watching the teams fight, and we had the traditional slow play retake comps. We had the sort of let's try and just get a pick kind of comps, and then we had and this was the grand finals. This is map one of the grand finals. We literally had a mirror matchup of it was Chark, Dahlia, Seeker, and Kestrel. I
Mm.
think that was it, right? So pretty aggressive rogues mirror matched up, and it was Skyfell, and they all went to B or to mid and ran at each other. And I'm not exaggerating when I
Oh, it
said
was just like
it was
deathmatch.
flash grenade, run, and it was just a bloodbath, and it was so interesting to watch because we've never seen that within
Oh
Rogue
yeah.
Company. And the
Yep.
time to kill changes really allow some really interesting things to happen. I think it does force people to be a bit smarter. So I'm liking where the meta's at. I think we still need time to see where it settles, but DMRs and ARs are definitely strong. SMGs can be if you get up close. If you can't, you're really suffering versus the ARs and DMRs. But it's looking good. Shotgun's not very valuable. That much I'll say.
Yeah, it's definitely something I noticed very quickly when I played this week. The faster rate of play, which is enjoyable. I did really like that. The melee, it was funny because like I was just starting to get used to like really
Yeah.
enjoying melee. I used to rage about melee early on in closed beta, and then now I was like, oh, this really I'm getting it, getting the hang of
Mhm.
it. And so I find myself looking at my buy screen and kind of, okay, do I even bother with melee or grenade right now?
Yeah.
Because it's like there's so many better options to go with, and you can pick up your enemy ones and such. So that's something that I keep in mind from that. I do enjoy it right now. What are your thoughts currently on the current meta with weapon choices? Because it seems
Mhm.
like most of our choices now are all revolving around rate of fire. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a few exceptions like the MXR and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's rate of fire. I mean, and I think that's why we see Mac doing so
Yeah.
well with his, because it's rate of fire, his recoil isn't super high,
Nope.
and it's like a endless 200 clip
Yeah.
just
It's a
spray.
monster.
So, yeah, I mean, thoughts on just the rate of fire as kind of the new meta now with weapon
Yeah, I mean,
choices.
I guess we're sort of talking about the time to kill because I think that's really where it blends in. There is people just want the lowest time to kill weapons, which makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
That's what you'd want, right?
Hmm.
So
Yep.
that's what they're opting for. Things like the MXR, anything the 4 body shots. So the Sahara
Hmm.
Conviction and the Knight at the closest range is just dumb. I will advocate this one as through and through. Nothing in this game should 4 body shot with a decent fire rate. The only exception
Hmm.
I see is the HRM, which is I think has
Mm.
got enough balancing to its close-up potential that it's worth it. But the Sahara and the conviction as well, like the whole thing with the conviction is it's got high bloom at the start, and you narrow it down the more you shoot. When
Yep.
you're just
Yep.
like face to face with somebody, that bloom doesn't matter. That
It
doesn't,
doesn't. It
and so
doesn't.
you've got a fairly decent, an okay fire rate, we'll say, hitting 4 shots to the body, and everyone just dies to that. It's not outgunnable. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm not a bad player, and I had beamed a Mac.
What?
Yeah, I had
No.
beamed a Mac down to 1 shot with a warrant. I had a warrant, and that was my gun. He
Wow.
had the conviction. I had 1 shot. He was, and we were kind of playing Ring Around the Rosies, and I run and I jump, and I'm just looking to land that one bullet, and before I even hit the ground, I am 4 tapped by this thing, and
Ugh.
I get 8
Ding
bullet
ding
off
ding
in
ding
that
ding.
time, and it's like, how does that like work? That's just not balanced, and so they definitely need enough. When it comes to time to kill and that sort of low time to kill meta that we're currently seeing, for me, those weapons need enough. The Conviction, Sahara, and Knight probably need enough
Mhm.
just to take that down ever so slightly. The MXR could use a nerf. It's a weird one. I feel like the MXR almost needs a buff because you're not rewarded for headshots. That's the issue with it. There's no point getting a headshot.
Mm.
You may as well go for body shot. So,
Yeah.
but I like the 3 tap on the MXR. I actually do. I think it's okay. I don't think it's awful in the current meta to have a 3 tap MXR. But having a 3 tap headshot MXR doesn't feel as weighty. So it's kind of like
Yeah. The head should definitely
yeah,
matter.
but
Yeah.
you can't make it 2 tap because then it's just a better version of the Deadeye, and it's like it's a really awkward one with the MXR. I feel like they just bring the range down heavily and then make it a 2 tap to the head wouldn't be awful, but that's their balancing they have to figure out because that's an iffy one.
Yeah, the MXR is rough because it almost needs an overhaul.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because now we're seeing the MXR played with every patch. Like
Hmm.
every patch, it's
Hmm.
something different and it's not quite perfect. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like there's always every patch, it's like,
Hmm.
this. Do you think that we will see rate of fire adjustments? Do you think it's going to be more recoil or damage focused in order to help balance out some of these weapons? Because there's definitely the go-to weapons right now.
Hmm.
Um, because of exactly what you said. Is it recoil, damage, or is it rate of fire, do you think?
I think they're gonna have to play around with all of it because you
Mm.
can't. with the time to kill change, you can't take the Sahara down to 24 damage without increasing its fire rate almost to make sure it's actually just not garbage. And I've talked to him a little bit about this and some of the numbers and stuff, and I've ran some numbers and seen some of the numbers and stuff. The moment you take in its current state the Sahara from a 25 to a 24, it becomes the worst AR by far. But in its current state, it's like the best AR. So it's like that's one damage. One damage is the difference between that ranges. So like there's a lot they have to mess with the recoil and the rate of fire and the damage to make that work. So I don't know exactly how they're going to do it. I imagine this is going to be happening pretty soon. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it'd be. I think overall, the safest bet would be a fire rate reduction on things if you wanted to, because that's the best way to minorly change TTK, like to small adjust it, is to change rate of fire. Because like if you imagine the rate of fire of a weapon is like 0.3 milliseconds, right? That's the fire rate of the weapon. Well, when you take it down to 0.2, you're adjusting it by 0.1 per bullet, right? But when you take away a whole bullet, you're taking away an entire 0.3. I don't know if that, I'm going very mathy into it. But essentially, like, whenever you remove how many bullets it takes to kill somebody, you're adjusting fire rate a lot, as opposed to just messing with fire rate a little bit and adjusting time to kill that way. So I'd be interested exactly how they do it. I think, again, there's some certain weapons that need small adjustments. But overall, I'm really happy with the state of time to kill. I like that things are faster. I like that it's faster pace. I like that you are rewarded for having better positioning. And I don't think the dynamic of good players still kill bad players has changed. That still happens. You just have to be more careful about your positioning.
I heard a comment the other day talking about meta, which what was it, on Tuesday? Somebody had mentioned it. They felt that the skill ceiling has become lower now. Like the distance between your top caliber players and your so-so players has shrunk due to the fact of the time to kill. Would you agree with that?
Yes and no. So I'm kind of in the boat of, yes, obviously people have to hit less shots to kill you, right? Therefore, it's easier for people to kill you, especially it's harder to like turn and burn somebody, right? You can't like, because they'll just probably gun you down in one less bullet than they ever needed to. Yeah. Also, a big reason for that is the way they've done some of these weapons by only changing body damage means you're not rewarded for headshot damage, and that's a big issue that they need to address, for sure. That is a big reason the skill ceiling has been lowered. But I also think it's been raised in that you can get picked off so quickly, and you need to be careful with your positioning. It's increased the skill ceiling for movement, positioning, and strategy, but probably decreased it for gunplay. And that's how that blend has kind of come through for me. If I'm going to be honest, yes, I think casual players or not so good players have an easier time killing somebody who's good. But if the good player adapts ever so slightly, they're killing their opponent way quicker as well. So it's like you both kind of reap the rewards and the negatives of it, is what I would say. There's a give and take.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I was just curious.
What are your thoughts?
I definitely a few things you had mentioned just over the past few items. I am regarding the skill ceiling, I think it has come down a little bit because the time to kill, there's less room for error. You know, you're kind of burning, done. Like it's it. Next fight, go. So it feels like a different game, and I think that's what they were looking for, and I'm happy about that. I mean, I think the big difference is going to be is like taking a crew of flunkies versus a team of these quasi pro players against each other. Going to be night and day.
Yeah.
But I think on these one-off type of situations, that is, I think, where you see that kind of difference more and more. Regarding some of the changes, with Mac and stuff like, let's talk a little bit about Mac. Season 2. So in Mac's regard, you got a chance to play Mac in PTS. I did not have the opportunity. I was away that weekend when they were offering it. Are you finding Mac is working well with people could play him this weekend with the tournament.
Yeah.
So is his light bomb as much as what we thought it would be? And aside from light bomb, his weapon is insane.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
100%.
I mean, I have loved picking it up as Lancer.
Oh my gosh.
On a reload the Lancer. It's God tier. So skip back, light bomb. Thoughts on that, especially from the competitive side this weekend?
Yeah, so Mac's state in the game I really like. I think he fits in really well. He definitely has a presence. It's kind of how me and Haloran were talking. Was when Mac's on the battlefield, Haloran was my co-caster for the tournament. Obviously you know him, but the audience may not.
Yep.
And I felt that and we both sort of said when Max selected, there's a presence there. There's that 25 armor off rip, off spawn, and a Dahlia potentially linked to him as well. So there's that presence, there's that pressure, but it's not unmanageable, right? If you just land a couple shots on him, he loses the armor and he can't repair it until he gets it down. So it's like, it's not the end of the world. The conviction's too strong. We've sort of talked about the time to kill and stuff. That is definitely his biggest asset right now. When it comes to Light Bomb, his ability, people haven't quite figured it out yet. I think I'm a pretty smart player when I play. I'm definitely less mechanical. Like, I'm not going to put off necessarily as many flashy, like, mechanical accuracy plays and stuff, but I can outsmart my opponents. So I actually feel like I've adapted to Light Bomb quite well. Watching some other people play it who have had less time on play, didn't have the PTS time, whatever, I definitely see their struggles with using it and knowing when to use it. Of they're just kind of plopping it down and hoping. And even when I was commentating, I'm like, oh, if you wait a second and popped it, or if you remember that you could pop it when he's down, then you're getting this flash off in times that they're struggling to get it off. So that's kind of what I'm noticing with Mac is his Light Bomb has a really high skill setting, probably one of the highest skill setting abilities, because honestly, as we said so many times, if you get hit by it as an enemy, what are you doing? There's a big indicator that says you are in danger of being hit by this. Like, it is like, if it's white, you're clear. If it's red, you're getting hit by it. Like, you're just not getting hit by it. Like, realistically, it's on you.
I think a lot of players get in that tunnel vision. Like, oh, there's another player. I'm focusing on the other player. And I think you're right there with timing and placement. What I find that works well, and I enjoy it with Mac, is putting it down at a critical point where a team will push you, and yes, they kill you. But as you know, and just with experience playing this game, when someone downs you, they want to finish it. So they're going to run in after you.
Yeah.
And that's the perfect time to go ahead and pop it. And then your team cleans up. Like, it's all, it's one step after the other on how you use it. You know, it's supposed to be this type of deterrent, but it's very interesting to see how, like, it is almost ignored.
Yeah.
Like, you almost overlook it. I don't think the field of vision or any of the, I don't think there needs to be any crazy changes to it. I think the mechanics are pretty simple. You see it come out, it fills the space. Like, I mean, what do you need, an alarm? Like,
if there was any more indication that thing is there, it would be worse. Like, it's so obvious. And I just think that people need to get used to using it more, because you kind of touched on it really well there. It's like, when people are in the moment, they're not thinking about it, and that's the best time to actually, like, get it off. But if they're not in the moment, they haven't started the push, and you put it down, it's a massive deterrent. No one is going near that thing if it's down. So it's like, you can use it for that purpose. Or the way I've been doing it a lot is honestly just like, as I'm planting the bomb, if it's like a slightly riskier plant and they may push me while I'm planting, I'll put Light Bomb down first, then go for the bomb plant. The moment I hear them or know they're about to push, I'll roll off and pop Light Bomb and then go for the fight, because they'll be flash. So it's like, there's ways you can use it as a deterrent, or even just like hey, I want to try something, I want to make a play, or I want to cover my teammates making a play, so I'm going to use Light Bomb, and if they decide to try and stop the play, then they're in trouble. It's almost like giving you that a window of opportunity of saying, hey, we can kind of do what we want in this time, and if they try to stop us, we have to be ready to capitalize on my Light Bomb. That's kind of the way I'm seeing from Max Ultimate at the moment, and I like it. I think it actually works really well. I think it just takes a high skill setting. It's hard to get used to. I think people just haven't had the time yet to really appreciate it. Who needs that when you have the conviction, which just slaps? So that's kind of my thoughts.
Oh, it's so good. It's so funny. Like,
too good.
Like, as I said, on Tuesday, I jumped in and I was playing the newbie card because I hadn't had a chance to play Mac. And so when a new rogue comes out, I always go into the shooting range, play around with some of their things. But the biggest thing I do, which is very, you can see I come from that CSGO background, is I will turn to a blank wall and I will hold down the spray and see what the spray pattern is without any recoil control. And man, there is like barely any recoil on that thing. Like, it opens up with the bloom, which you're absolutely right. So it kind of sprays a little bit all over the place, and then it settles. Oh, and it's just like, ooh, and it's like, wow, this is not even pulling north at all. Like, it's just right there. It's a lot of fun. I think there's definitely going to be a nerf come to it, and I don't think they're going to come in, like, they could come in and go, we're going to take it from 200 to 100. It's like, that's okay, because you're usually killing somebody in the first 20 bullets anyway. So it's I don't know, like, the rate of fire, but that's what makes it. Like, you
Yeah.
got to remember, like, that's what makes Mac a deadly force that
Yeah.
you're not going to push in. So
I
I don't know.
I think
Yeah.
one more shot, one more bullet. I think that one's the one you can take down to
Okay.
23 damage or something, and just give it a little bit less presence.
I could see that.
For that
I could
fourth
see
shot,
that.
because at the end of the day, you're right. It's a laser beam, right? So if it's a laser beam,
Yep.
you should probably have to hit more shots. You know, that's why like, you know, DMRs are those high powered weapons, because
Yep.
they're the single shot, right? They're the hard hitting single shot weapons, but then you have this LMG, which you need to be a very fast, in this case, a laser beam that hits less hard, because you don't want to four tapping LMG. You just don't want that. That's just not okay. This just not doesn't compute in my brain as like, yes, four tap. We need that, especially when like people just pre-fire that thing to get the bloom like accurate. Like they waste a few shots to then get it laser focused, and they move around a corner with Stalker and Replenish. Where did those two perks come from a balancing idea of like, yes, we want someone who is great at pre-firing corners to have Stalker, so he's more agile moving around there, and when he gets it down with his 70 bullet LMG, we're gonna give him Replenish to get more bullets back in his 70 bullet LMG. Like, it's just insane. Honestly, sometimes I'm just like, they're the sort of things I question.
So the one thing I noticed, talking about meta a little bit more and more, that I definitely notice now is, dude, pre-firing is like a must now. But because of the time to kill, pre-firing is ridiculous. And like with Mac, he's got 200 in the chamber. So it's like, man, you pre-fire, but that is one thing I noticed. Like, you know, traditionally when you're approaching a corner, you hear the footsteps. You would have in the past had your melee out.
Yes.
Because your melee. But now, because the time to kill is shorter, it's like, no, you're not throwing your melee because they could burn you and kill you before they get that shot off. You are literally going across that corner plane and just unloading as you come around that corner.
Yeah. 100%.
Did you notice a lot of pre-fire in yesterday's tournament?
I'm trying to think. I mean, yes. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I definitely did. There's that element of, and we've always kind of seen it, of people wanting to get a little bit of extra poke damage off. But now that poke damage is actually kill range damage, like, so you are seeing people sort of like take trades and then anticipating a peek. Like, you know, when people got really good at anticipating melee weapon throws, or when people get a re-peek around the corner, that's essentially now happening with bullets. Or people are just anticipating them to peek round and able to get those shots off. So pre-fire is definitely something that I am noticing a little bit more coming to Rogue Company.
So I will say, as we're continuing to bounce around here, which is so funny because usually Radthar's leading these conversations.
Yeah, I like this. I noticed this about like 10 minutes in, that we're kind of like with flip roles, and I like it. I'm gonna keep this there for a moment.
So it lasts forever. No. It's only because I took notes before the show today.
He has notes.
I wanted to talk about. So I am going to admit, I am having the most fun I've ever had in Rogue Company with King of the Hill.
Yeah, good. I'm glad
I am loving that mode. Like, it is a good mix. It is what Strikeout almost should have been.
Yeah.
It's this very like constant, like, I like not worrying about how many ticks you got left on your team, and like, oh my god, Radthar keeps dying left and right. Like, he's just crushing our amount of the health, you know, our lives. And
these are lies.
Okay, so that's what I'm gonna say. There's a negative thing I have about King of the Hill, and this is up for debate, but I want your perspective first on thoughts on King of the Hill now you've had a chance to play it a few times.
I said I played a bunch of PTS. It was the game mode to play on PTS. They normally only have one game mode that you're really like meant to be playing at the time. And I played a lot since then. Love it, absolutely love it. I think it's a great mode. I think it's it has great competitive elements that I could see bringing into a ranked or even a competitive scene. I think it plays really well. I think if I had to pick out two issues with it, I'd say one issue and then one potential change, which I think is probably what you're going to lean to. But my one issue is some of the respawns. I don't like how often I get spawned from behind. That happens a fair amount, and it's a little bit annoying sometimes. Like, if you like, I've kind of started to suss them out.
Here's one thing I noticed. If you don't have more random respawns, which I agree with, the challenge is teams end up, like, if you just left spawns on the appropriate sides, you end up getting camped. Like, you end up getting camped, not necessarily on the spawn, but on your incoming routes.
Yes.
And it's just like, I can understand that. But yes, it is. It reminds me of, do you remember Gun Game? Like their Gun Game version, where all of a sudden sides would flip and you're like, oh god, like we're focused. Okay, Radthar, you got that corner, Let's wait for them to respawn. Oh crap, they're behind us now. Like, it's just, it completely throws your perspective.
Yeah, I don't mind. I feel like for the most part, it's tweaked pretty well. There's just a few maps that are pretty windward where I'm like spawning and I kill someone, and then they spawn behind me as opposed to the opposite
Ooh.
side of the map. Like, so there's just a few little spawns that are a little bit questionable to me. But the only thing I think
There
maybe
should be some spawn detection in there where like, okay, I don't respawn someone in a spot within a certain vicinity of another player.
yeah, I feel like that's what they try and do, but sometimes it just gets a bit like meshed together.
Yeah.
There's not enough spawns
Yep.
potentially, and that's why. But
Sure.
the other sort of thing is, and I think this is, I know you talked about this before, maybe this is what you're trying to allude to, is having some sort of time between, like, or randomization of heal rotation, of just like, hey, it's just this set formula, and people, I'll leave the point 5 seconds before it ends, give up those 5 points, and just go to the next hills to secure that. So I would like either some sort of like random rotation or some time of lock period where it's like the point moves, is locked for 15 seconds, let the dogfight happen around the new point, and then whichever team come out the victor of that, then get the chance to hold it. Like that sort of thing is what I would potentially prefer as an option.
Yeah, that second option that you had there, I think, is a smart one. I heard both sides of it when I was playing the other night. Some players had said, well, some strategy to it was leave a person on the spawn to complete the timer, and then have your team rotate, like under when it's the 10 seconds, have them start to rotate, and then you'll kind of follow up as the flank, so you come in as the flank. The second part of that was, I heard two sides of it. One side was like, no, I like the fact where I need to learn the map rotations. For the point, I'm sorry, the point rotations on the map, so that gives me an edge over another player. So like there is value in playing more and more King of the Hill. Okay, I understand that. Like we were playing on Vice and we were playing with Jolly, and Jolly was like, oh, there is one on the stage. Forgot about the stage. There's one on the stage. And so I can kind of like, I can see both sides. Like there's a value to the pattern and playing the most and knowing the pattern, but there's also a huge advantage. We played against Blue's team. He was playing, and his team, the first round, you could tell they knew that pattern. And we didn't. And so, granted, I think we came back to win. I'm not positive. I think we came back to beat them. But it was only but it was because we started to like know that pattern to figure it out. And they played very well. They had that strategy down where it was like, we're leaving that point and rotating to sacrifice 5 seconds versus 30 seconds of getting it captured and holding it down. So I think there's two sides to it. I could see it. At first I was really frustrated that it wasn't randomized, because I'm like, wait, they have a huge advantage over me, but you do want to reward players for playing a mode a lot.
Makes sense,
So you can kind of go both ways.
I think it definitely is both ways. I would like a non-random locked system. I think would be my preferred one, of give teams a fight to both rotate there without having to sacrifice the point that's already active.
I like that idea.
And dogfight it out for 15, 20 seconds, and then open up the point, and the victor of the fight essentially is the one who gets that. I think that would be a little bit more interesting, because you wouldn't have to instant rotate, and I kind of like. So that's my thought. That's my thoughts on it.
Because I think it's a good idea, actually, because if you think about it, like the point shows up. Both teams know, one team knows where it is, one team doesn't. Regardless, they get to the point, they start to fight it out. One team wipes, the other team now defends. So it's adding the defend mechanic, the attack and defend mechanic into the game, which I think is a good. So no, it's great. I mean, the other night I was like, I'm not playing anything else. I'm just playing King of the Hill.
I saw that. Yeah, no, I think it's a fantastic mode. Actually, I think overall season 2 for me has been really, really good. I like the new game mode. I like the new map. Although I haven't played too much, because I've been ranked and I don't think it's in ranked rotation right yet. I've been playing Mac. I haven't been playing a lot of Mac. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played a lot of Mac. I don't think I haven't mastered upper level. Like,
how dare you? How dare you not have him mastered?
This is
not like you.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I guess, he's not very good solo rogue, I feel like. And so I'm not really finding very much use for him in a solo queue ranked situation, as opposed to some of my other like more comfort picks like Astral. But yeah, no, I think overall I'm enjoying it. I think there's a lot of complaints about time to kill, and I understand the frustration that the game has changed. But I'm gonna be Octane here and say, just get over it. Get over it. Stop whining. It's change. Change is change, right? It has changed. It is different, and there will be an adjustment period. Allow the adjustment period. give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to nerf the weapons that are too strong. They've already talked about it. I know that they are planning on nerfing some of these weapons. You know, they've tweeted about it, and let them. They've overhauled the entire gun system. The entire gun system. There's going to be some issues with it, right? Let them just balance it out a little bit based off our feedback, based off more playtime. And then when we're in a state where weapons feel more balanced with this increased time to kill, what's the complaint? No one's complaining about the NMPX. It's a really well-balanced gun for this time to kill. No one's complaining about the Deadeye. It's a really well-balanced gun for this time to kill. When all the other weapons fit into that, we're going to be looking at a really good change, I think, and a lot of strategic elements that are going to be afforded for people. So that's my 2 cents. That's my rant.
All right, so I got my last topic here for us.
Okay, let's do it.
So where do they go from here?
Okay, that's interesting. I like that.
You've changed the time to kill significantly, so it's a different feel of a game. Where do we go from here? Because like you and we've had the discussions. It's like we were in a low, a low before season 2, and now season 2 hit, and it's like, all right, we're up. But it's like, is this just a repeat?
Yeah.
Give it a few weeks, and now we're low again. You know, like. So where do we go from here to continue this upward trajectory? You know, or what are your thoughts on that? You know, what can they continue to do or not do to keep this going?
I mean, I think
I have an idea.
I'm gonna be honest. My idea is unmatched. I 100% think this is the best direction. I need at least one more arms dealer within the next couple days. I need 16 more skins. And as many cosmetics as you could possibly throw. No, I mean, look, we talked about this kind of last week of what I want within 2 weeks of patch day, and that is bug fixes. Refining what we have. Bring everything that we've talked about, fixes, bug fixes, balance, and bring that balance in. Oh my gosh, can you imagine we just spend the next like 3 weeks in a balancing stage where like it's a repeat of playing the game, enjoying it, finding an issue, talking about it, dealing with it, playing the game, enjoying it until we get to like 3 weeks in, like 3 patches of that, and we've got one of the best games. Like if they get that down, it's amazing. We're in a great state, and that's what I want to see for the next 3 weeks. Then 4 weeks in, content drop me. Bring me an arms dealer. Great. If you've spent 3 weeks bug fixing for me, I'll happily pay for an arms dealer event with some missions to grind, some fun to grind. And then in 2 weeks after that, well, that's about new time for a new rogue. You've got more content to drop, few more balancing patches, end the season on a high. That's the direction I see. Break everything. That's the direction I see right? For everything. I moved. I'm gonna get excited and I bashed my desk. That's what I would like to see.
So with the changes that they've made, like this, it seems like a new direction of things. You know, I think you and I spoke very heavily as to there was a huge disconnect between the community and the developers, and like I will be the first to say many times I've said on the show, where are you getting this direction from? Like it is not. Do you think that they have reassigned game development to someone or game direction? So game director. I thought it was Gandhi. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I know everybody rolls up to high-res Chris, who oversees all the game platforms, but it seems like there's someone else's touch on this right now. Would you agree with that feeling from at least the direction as a game director, not a developer, but a game director? It feels like it's being taken a different direction, which is more in sync with what the community is looking for.
I think that it's been focused. I don't know. I see. Okay, this is my thoughts. I don't know if that's an additional hand to Gandhi, because I'm almost saying it's still Gandhi's still overseeing everything, because the DMs I have with him back and forth talking about all these things is very much like he's definitely right there in the forefront of it.
Sure.
And so I think he's had a hand remove, an overseeing hand that is maybe squashing some things, pushing some other objectives, pushing some more cosmetic focus. This is very much all my thoughts. I have no knowledge at all what the structure of Hi-Rez is, but that would kind of be my thoughts of. I feel like he knows where the game should go. But from all the conversations I've had with him, what I see over Twitter, from the passion I know he has about this game and his background in gaming and balanced gaming, I would be surprised if he hadn't potentially had like some restrictions put in place from a Hi-Rez point of view. That have maybe been lifted or relaxed.
I can see where you're coming from there. There was a lot of their other games. It wasn't the game director. It was upper management that was kind of playing in the kiddie pool, and it was like, get the F out. And
that's what
it always ended up being too late. Like Realm Royale, great example. Started out wonderful. Upper management got involved with the direction, wanted to take it more towards Fortnite, wanted to put more skins into it. And it was, unfortunately for Realm Royale, was too late. Like, it was too late. And so maybe this is that. Something I'd be interested. So
Mm-hmm.
they've changed the time to kill.
Yeah.
The game is a faster pace. Newer players, I think, coming in will enjoy it more. The battle pass is more exciting to
Mm-hmm.
it. You know, you get to use your reputation on things now. I agree with you. Balance should be focused. Balance and adjustments
Yeah.
and bug fixes
Mm-hmm.
should be. I say should because I next week I'm gonna be frustrated when it's like, hey, we're dropping this.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on in something like 2 weeks? They announce a like something like a charity uh like celebrity large content creator tournament. So
Okay.
it's like I'm thinking of it from a marketing
Yeah.
perspective. So we've gotten the season 2 patch, the time to
Mm-hmm.
kill's been done. So like the game's I would say in a pretty dang
Yeah.
good state. Um very minimal bugs that would have really crippled the game in the past.
Yeah.
Is now the time to throw money back into their marketing spend, which they've pulled
Mm-hmm.
back on.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about throwing a tournament for pro players because
No.
let's be honest, I don't know that I'm sorry. I don't feel there's pro players in this game. I think there's semi pros or
Yeah.
people pursuing it. I don't know that we're there yet. But and don't ask me to define that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I feel like what we need now is an injection of new eyes on the game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
I agree.
this is where I could say take some teams and you know what? Maybe it's an arms race tournament. Like it doesn't need to be
Please.
demolition.
No.
Oh, please do. Please do.
Not
Don't
arms
be a
race.
demolition.
King of the Hill? Happy days.
Oh, I'm sorry. Arms race. I'm sorry. I didn't mean arms race. I meant King of the Hill.
Arms race
Yes,
is that
I'm
gun
sorry.
game one you were talking about where the weapons are all over the floor.
No.
I'm like,
No. Thank you. No. Yeah, yes. I think the appropriate game mode, yes, is King of the Hill. 100%. Because anybody can come in. A ninja could come in. A shroud could come in. No, can play the game mode instantly.
Yeah.
They don't need to know the maps. The time to kill would be attractive to them.
Mm-hmm.
And you could end off being like, damn, that was a fun day. And it would get a lot of eyes on it. I think now is the time. I know Irish Trevor oversees marketing for like business development. And he doesn't listen to this, but if anybody knows him, poke him. I think this is what you do now. I think you take your marketing spend, you grab your Dr. Disrespect, you grab your Courage JD. And I know everybody's like, well, it didn't work in the past.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is take one day, make it a charity event, and put together some fun pre-made teams. Like, have some fun with it. And even if you wanted to sprinkle in some like community content creators, like, and I'm not saying me, I'm just saying like someone like a Radthar or a few. I don't even know if I want to put in like maybe some of these high caliber players, but then it becomes like I don't know.
The high caliber ones who have a content presence, I think, would make sense. Like Frag out someone like Bobster, who also
because
sort of
the goal
creators.
is eyes.
Yes,
the goal is eyes. It is not because then it is not like at the end of the day, it's charity. It's like everything goes to charity, and it's all like the winning team gets to pick the charity of choice, whatever. I think that would be a boatload of fun. And we're not talking a long tournament because we've had those before. It's like it's single elimination, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I
agree.
I think now's the time. And I'm not saying have CMG host it. Like I don't want CMG to host it. It's like have it hosted.
Twitch Rivals. There you go. Twitch Rivals would be a good equivalent, right?
Yep.
Exactly. I think that event like that would be great.
This is my idea of like next moves, because if not, it is literally going to go like this, and then it's going to be season 3, and it's just like, it's like what are we doing here? Like, where's our marketing spend going right now, guys? It doesn't need to be these cinematics. Like, they're nice, but like they're not bringing in a ton of people.
No. I think that'd be really good. I'd love something like that. I would love. Hey, I mean, they did kind of suffer on the whole creator event, wherever that was meant to be. We talked about that last week. Wherever that went.
They can't do roadmaps. They can't do roadmaps because they can't.
We ignore the roadmaps. But yeah, no, I think that should be really good. I think now is a good time for injection marketing after the few little bug fixes and balancing changes. A good injection marketing. I know, like I talked about with you a bunch, talked about with Die Hard a bunch. That's what I think we all agree would be great for the game right now, because the game's in a stable enough state and enjoyable with enough longevity to continue wanting to play it. So I think that would be interesting. I would like to see it, but we'll see if it comes. As I said, the next couple weeks, specifically for me, I want to be a bug fix focus. And I do believe that is where they're going to be looking at, which is great. And then come June, from like mid-June, we can talk about new content and things like that. That is my hope. So like
okay, so we should
month.
have a new Rogue then.
Yes, that's
late June. Late June.
Yeah. So that's really exciting. That is my hope for the game. The lifespan of this season is that sort of timescale. Yeah, I would love a good marketing injection. Other than that though, that is it from me on my topics. You got anything else on your notes?
My notes are gone.
My
ideas are gone. That's
We're
it.
out.
They're gone.
We've tapped the barrel, and guys, I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you follow and rate on whatever respective platform you decide to watch or listen to this on. We appreciate your support on all these platforms. So guys, really do appreciate it. And until next week, we will see you later. Bye guys.